Okay, so this is the tutorial on how to play Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. The song is in the key of G in the chords that I'm playing and in the actual album version. So I recommend listening to the album and hearing the pace of the song and especially the melody. But I'm going to try to break it down by each section. So I'll also do the little riff too, so you can do that, and I'll put the link to the Ultimate Guitar chords in the description so that you can access that. But most of the song is going to be maintaining a pattern where you're playing 4 beats for every chord, and you're going to be playing the first beat, the third beat, and the fourth beat. So if we're going to play G, we play G, G, G. So it's 1, 3, 4. So we skip that second downbeat. And if we're going to play D after that, we would do 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. See, so every time you play 1, you're switching to a different chord, almost throughout the whole song except for one part that I'll get to. So the main part of the verse is just G, D, C, back to D, back to G. G, 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 D, 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 C, 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 D, 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 G. So you notice how it's 4 beats. I'm just skipping that second, not skipping the beat, but skipping the strum. Okay, so try that out a few times, and it's important to have that rhythm down, right? So it should be like, so the way that it sounds like in the song is it goes, it's late in the evening, she's wondering what clothes to wear, she puts on her makeup and brushes her long blonde hair. See, so it's like you're always doing that strumming pattern, even when there's a gap in the lyrics, right? Because that's what's going to keep the song going. So you're not just going to skip out on that pattern. So that's most of the lyrics for the verse part. When you get into the lyrics for the chorus section, where it goes, and then she asked me, do I look alright? And I said, yes, you look wonderful tonight. The tricky part of this, in addition to it just being a deviation from the chord order of the verse, is you actually need to play the G once here. You play just one strum. And then for the D, you play 2. So it goes C, 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 D, 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 G, D, D, E minor, E minor, E minor, C. Okay, so it takes a little bit of practice because what you wanna do, your instinct is to play the G like you do the other chords that you played up to this point, right? But the thing is that the G only gets 2 beats. And remember, the second beat, you're not playing the down strum. You're only playing the first down. The second one you're skipping. And then you're switching to a D for the 3 and 4. And the 3 and 4 beats, you do strum. And then the pattern keeps going. So the E minor gets played once after you do the two Ds. So you do G, D, D, E minor, E minor, E minor, C, 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 D, 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 G. Okay? So let me try to play that section. So it goes C, 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 D, 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 G, D, D, E minor, E minor, E minor, C, 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 D, 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 G. Okay, so it's, and then she asked me, do I look alright? And I say yes, you look wonderful tonight. So that section might take more practice because it just seems weird to only do one G, one strum of G here, followed by two strums of D, followed by one strum of E minor, and then two more of E minor, right? That to me is one of the trickiest parts of the song, is just that. But if you can get that, everything else is just repetition. So when you go into the next verse, we go to a party. It's that familiar. So I should say, after you do that section where it goes, and then she asked me, do I look alright? And I say, yes, you look wonderful tonight. So after you play that part, you go back to that, the regular verse part where you do G, 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 D, 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 C, 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 D. And then you go right into the next, you let that go for one progression, because what's happening while you're doing that, so after you do, I say, yes, you look wonderful tonight, what's happening is that you're going to go, so what would happen during that part is that the soloist or the other guitarist would go, I think they do it twice. You'd want to do like two progressions of the G, D, C, D. But you keep that going when you go into the next verse. So the next verse, you're doing, we go to a party and everyone turns to see this beautiful lady is walking around with me. And then she asked me, do you feel alright? And I say, yes, I feel wonderful tonight. So if you can get those parts, you can play the whole rest of the song. The bridge sounds just like that chorus part. So the part where it goes, I feel wonderful because I see the love light in your eyes. That part, you're going to do the same thing like you did for, and then she asked me, do I look alright? So it goes, I feel wonderful because I see the love light in your eyes, and the wonder of it all, that you just don't realize how much I love you. then for the part where it's time to go home now, I've got an aching head, you're going to do that same progression, right? So you do, it's time to go home now, and I've got an aching head, so I give her the car keys, she helps me to bed, and then I tell her, as I turn out the light, I say, my darling, you are wonderful tonight. So that's the strumming part of the song. I played that riff earlier, and that little riff is also in the ultimate guitar. It's these little tabs here. Everything takes place on the highest 3 strings, the ones that are closest to the floor. And the way that you play it is you're going to line up your 3 fingers so that you're on the B string. Your index finger is going to be on the 8th fret, your middle finger is going to be on the 9th fret, and your ring finger is going to be on the 10th fret. So 8, 9, 10. Okay. Might be saying, well, why would I have 3 fingers on the same string? Well, that's a good question. The reason is because you want to use your force to push the strings up, see? Because the only string that's going to ring out, the only sound that's going to ring out is based on the finger that's going to be closest to the sound hole, right? Because this isn't going to ring out if this finger is pressing down. But you want the advantage of all the fingers to have the force to bend the note. So what you want to do is you want to bend the note on the B string on the 10th fret by going and what you're doing is you're bending it up 2 half steps to actually sound like the B note here on the 12th fret. So you're instead of going you're just going, and that's just the way that he does it on the album, right? So you can do it this way, but it just sounds a little smoother if you bend it, right? So what you do is you bend this note up, and then as soon as you bring it down, you let go with all fingers except your index, which is on the B string on the 8th fret, and you play that by itself. So you go, and then you put your ring finger back on the 10th fret of the B string. So it goes. So try that a few times. Okay. The next section, you're doing the same thing, except that instead of landing back on the 10th fret, you put your middle finger on the 9th fret of the G. So you go, right? So instead of going, you go, okay. So again, you're bending that note on the 10th fret of the B string, bringing it up and down. Then you're going to the index finger on the 8th fret, but you're putting your middle finger down on the 9th fret of the G. Then you're going to do one more bend. Might need to rest a little bit if your fingers are getting sore or tired. So you do, that's the first one. So you just repeat the one you did at the very beginning. So you land again back on the B string of the 10th fret. So it's from the beginning. And then what you're going to do is after you've played that note here on the B string of the 10th fret with your ring finger, you're just going to slide it down 2 frets to the 12th fret, and you're going to play that note and then the one right next to it. So the B string on the 12th fret, B string on the 13th fret. Okay? So it's going to go. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to do. Okay? Then you just have 2 more notes left. And it's just the high E string 12th fret and the high E string 10th fret. And you can play those with your ring finger and index. You can play it with index only. Just hit those last 2. You'll have time in the song to play it however you want. So I'll play it all the way through. So that's Wonderful Tonight. Good luck. Take it slow. Listen to the album while you're playing. And there are some other little subtleties in there. I think the very end of the song might be a little bit different. There's another riff of the song that is shorter, but that is the gist of the song. So good luck.